freshly armed with the knowledge that Marvin Hagler's goal in 1987 was to become the first Dwayne Johnson. What? This is Kurt Berglund for Pine Tar Baseball. Gotten some questions about the Advanced Pitching Modifier Table. And so what I want to do is to take a few minutes to go through what the differences are between the Pitcher Modifier Table and the Advanced Pitcher Modifier Table and how they would work in gameplay. So what I did was I grabbed a couple of the franchise all-time teams. I grabbed the Red Sox and the Mets. They were just on top of the pile. And I pulled some players from there, and we'll take a look and show you what they would look like with a couple of different examples for you so that you get a sense of how the charts work, what the differences are, and how you might use them in gameplay. So let's go to the chart. I just grabbed a hitter and a pitcher for each team to kind of walk through what this would look like. If we imagine that we're using the franchise all-star teams and the Red Sox are facing the Mets, let's suppose for the sake of argument that we are at Fenway Park. So Tom Seaver would be the away team pitcher, the Mets, and Yastrzemski is at bat. We know that the normal pitcher modifier table on the Pine Tar Baseball chart page looks like this. And so with Seaver being an A pitcher on the road, we know that the letter we're looking to modify would be any of the A's on the chart. Simple enough. So, for example, if Yaz is at the plate, and I'm not going to roll the right way, so let's suppose that I roll a 30. Seaver's a right-handed pitcher, and that's a walk for Yastrzemski if nobody's on base because Seaver is a B or better pitcher. So the walk here against Seaver, the A pitcher, because I rolled a 30, would go like this. The A, up here, becomes a strikeout. All right. So if we did the same thing on the Advanced Pitcher Modifier Table, we look here, the walk becomes a strikeout, but look what else happens. The A plus also becomes a strikeout. All right. So the letters, the charts look different. The easiest way to understand this might be to look at a pitcher who's not as good. So let's pull these guys. Well, let's do one more. Suppose that we do a 15, and it's a single. All right, on Yastrzemski's card because it falls between 14 and 28. If you look here, the single turns into a walk. The new result becomes a walk because Seaver is an A pitcher. All right. If we look at the Advanced Pitcher Modifier Table, the single, now we're looking at hits, and what matters is there a runner in scoring position or not? All right, so let's suppose there's not a runner in scoring position, but it's a single. The A pitcher turns it into a flyout, and we look down here, and it goes to center field. So instead of a walk, it becomes a flyout. With a runner in scoring position and a single, it turns into a strikeout. So you can see that there are differences between the two charts. All right, so that's first thing. Now let's look at a pitcher who's not as good. Another Red Sox pitcher from the all-timers, Tim Wakefield, and let's suppose that he's facing a Mets franchise all-star, Daniel Murphy, at the plate. Well, let's suppose we're now at Shea Stadium and Wakefield is the road pitcher. He's a D pitcher. And we'll roll the dice, and of course I won't roll something that ends in a 5 or a 0. Let's suppose that we roll a 20, which against the right-handed pitching Wakefield would be a single. All right, so we look here, and now the single against a pitcher who is a C through an E, which Wakefield is, he's a D, becomes a double. On the Advanced Pitcher Modifier Table, the single against Wakefield, the D pitcher, becomes a double. Same outcome. All right, so we'll do it one more time and show you some, and then I'm going to say something generally true about the two charts. This is a 45, finally did what I wanted to do. This is a strikeout. A strikeout with a D pitcher on the original pitcher modifier table becomes a walk. And a strikeout against a D pitcher on the advanced pitcher modifier table becomes a walk as well. Now the easiest place, so there's similarities, but there are differences as well. Easiest place to spot how the charts are different is to look at the outcomes for a C-rated pitcher. So for example, if we suppose that a C pitcher gives up a double, but it ends in a 0 or 5, so we're on the pitcher modifier table, turns into a home run. C pitchers are average in pine tar baseball. But now notice what happens on the advanced modifier table. If the C pitcher gives up with a double with nobody on, it turns into a home run. But if there's somebody on, it stays a double. The C stays a double. So what matters is where the runners are on base if a hit occurs. Make sure you're looking at the proper column. If you look at the two charts and you compare where C outcomes are for C pitchers, you'll get the clearest sense of how the two charts are different. The original pitcher modifier table, it's easier to score runs with runners in scoring position because than it is on the advanced pitcher modifier table, because the C's, for example, move up and your results aren't as good as they are on this chart. So what this does is it takes a little bit, and some of the outs are different as well. You'll notice that as well. But what the advanced pitcher modifier table does is it takes a little bit of offense away. It makes the C pitcher, for example, just a little bit better than he is in the pitcher modifier table that's produced with the original set of charts. So if you're feeling like you're scoring a little too much in the game as the original pitcher modifier table is used, and you want to reduce a little bit of scoring, what this does is it makes the C pitcher a little bit better on the pitcher modifier table than he is on the original pitcher modifier table. So a C pitcher is better on the advanced table. In fact, I think it's fair to say every pitcher on every letter grade except G, is a little bit better on the advanced table. The G's stay the same. The E's are a little bit better, but pretty much the same. Yeah, the E's are the same too. The C's are better, and G's are still awful, E's are still awful. D's look like they're a little bit better, about the same. C's are definitely better than they were. And the second thing that the Advanced Pitcher Modifier Table does is it adds the flyout possibility as a new result. And that kicks in for A and B pitchers on hits, for singles, for walks, for strikeouts, and for groundouts. There is no flyout row for new results on the original Pitcher Modifier Table. So it does change some outs into sacrifice flies potentially. But this is the Advanced Pitcher Modifier Table in general, reduces a little bit of your offense, and it widens your variety of responses because it adds the fly ball row to the new results. Last thing that I'll say is that the other thing that you'll notice is that if you look at the two charts carefully, you'll see that the results are a little more spread out. They're not as clustered as they are here. And so what that does is it allows for a little less uniformity from pitcher to pitcher, from grade to grade. In the Advanced Pitcher Modifier Table, your offense is reduced a tiny bit, and you get a greater diversity of outcomes between the letter grades. And that's pretty much it. It won't dramatically affect gameplay depending upon which one you use. There's not a huge variance here, but those are the basic differences between the two charts. I hope this video has answered some questions about the difference between these two tables. I know James used this table in the '79 World Series replay that he did, and you can see that in action on the Pine Tar Facebook page. Thank you again. Please post questions that you have below in case I haven't been clear. I feel like I haven't been very clear in this one. So if you have questions, please let me take another shot at it. And I hope you have a good day. Thanks again. So long, everybody.